Joining me now is the Judge Michael Luttig. Judge, good to see you this morning. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Ali. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I was quite chuffed when I looked at the Washington Post the other day and saw this great story of you. We, of course, have loved you here on Velshi for a while for your opinions. But you're becoming, dare I say, sort of mainstream in pop culture now.
Well, I hope that's not the case. That's never been my goal in life, Ali.
Well, let's talk about the reasons why people are covering what you're saying. And that is because you've taken, as I said, your legal experience and your constitutional understanding and are trying to actually mainstream this. You're trying to say there are some flaws. There are some things going on in our legal system that can be fixed. There's a challenge at the Supreme Court that is a little odd. And then you have this sort of cabal of Trumpy election deniers that are actually posing a challenge to our system. You would like to just solidify the system so that folks like this can't manipulate it.
Ali, the effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election and the events of January 6th represented an unprecedented assault on American democracy and the institutions of our democracy. It was just it was providential, I guess you might say, that I was brought in on January 6th to advise the vice president. But as a result of that, it fell to me to explain to the Congress and to the country, if you will, exactly what had happened on January 6th, because behind the effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election was a very complicated plan to exploit both the Constitution and laws of the United States. And so over the past year and a half in particular, I've been called upon to explain that plan, explain how the country could prevent another January 6th in the future, and that's what I've done. All of those efforts have been toward the end of shoring up the bulwark of our democracy, which at the moment is faltering, I would say. But as we may discuss, the country is beginning to make the changes necessary to prevent another January 6th, and I'm increasingly encouraged.
Is there a role for the rest of us in this conversation? Because much of what you write goes for testimony and is heard by constitutional scholars, and you hope by legislators at the state and the federal level to change laws that are broken. But it's complicated stuff. I mean, you emailed me last night to discuss the complexity of the situation in North Carolina. What's your hope? Is your hope that people at large start to embrace some of these complicated issues and read these court cases and take up a position and ask their candidates about it?
I don't expect or even assume that the public at large, Ali, should familiarize itself with all of these pieces of the effort to overturn the election, and therefore of the needs to prevent it. I think the public understands now what happened at an appropriate level, and it expects that its elected representatives to shore up the bulwark of our democracy, make the changes that are necessary, and make the changes that are necessary to ensure that there's never another January 6th, and that a future president never attempts to overturn an election in the way that the former president did in 2020.
Judge, it's a pleasure to see you. I know it's early where you are, so thank you for joining us. By the way, Judge Luttig has joined me on the board of the National Constitution Center. It was at our first board meeting together earlier this week that I cornered him and said, come on the show on Sunday morning. I didn't give him any option, although he always says yes, even when given the option. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time. Judge Michael Luttig is a former federal judge for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. Thanks for being with us.